Hey folks, Curtis Stone here. We are carrying on our video series where we explore every state and province in North America and we analyze the good and the bad. We look for potential areas you might want to consider homesteading and areas that you'd want to avoid. And today we're going to be looking at the state of Arizona, which in general, I'll tell you right out of the gate, is pretty tough for homesteading. The challenge here is it's desolate. There's very little green. There's lots of high elevation, which can be good as far as tucking away. But the climate is difficult in general in Arizona. And, most people who live in Arizona are in this Phoenix region for sure. Probably 80% of the population of Arizona is in Phoenix. And then it's fairly populated down to Tucson. And a lot of people that live here are just snowbirds or people that, they're not farming. So they like the dry climate. They like the overall warmth. The summer is really hot. But the winter times in Arizona are very pleasant because you just don't get a lot of weather, which is good if you're just living in the burbs and you're just looking for a nice place to enjoy your time there. But if you want to be connected to the land and you're growing food in a self-sufficient way, Arizona in general is a very tough state. And I would say, and we're going to look at every state, right? But I would say it's generally the same for much of Utah, definitely most of New Mexico, this whole western part of Texas, much of Colorado, Wyoming, most parts of Idaho, Oregon, Nevada in general. Forget about it. But again, we'll look at each of those individually. But this is the challenge that Arizona has. Arizona is beautiful. Flying over Arizona is quite, magnificent when you see the Great Lakes and the Hoover Dam coming through Nevada and all that, or New Mexico. And when you fly over this region, it's beautiful. And there are parts of Arizona that are green, up in here, but they're really barren. Like there's just nothing out there. So a big challenge that you have in the state is, number one, it's fairly expensive because it's a desirable place as far as the metropolitan areas that people want to come to. But the other part is that it's just barren and there's not much available. So as far as places that we want to avoid, in Arizona, it speaks for itself in the metropolitan areas. It's, homesteading here, it's not really a thing. It's either big ag, and you can see that by all the center pivots that are run by all of the farming irrigation infrastructure that's piped to these farms that is pulled from the big aquifers that exist in Arizona. And that's actually one of the greatest things about Arizona is that there are parts of it that have these massive aquifers that seem to have limitless water, though I'm sure that's not the case across the board. But that's kind of how you water all these farms. Like they're not getting water to these farms from water that's coming from rainfall. There's just very little rainfall in Arizona in general. And when you do get rain, sometimes it's torrential and sometimes it floods the places that, are in valleys or depressions where water concentrates. And so there's a risk in Arizona with flooding because there's no trees. So when water lands on the surface of places, it just moves. Whereas when you have places with trees, the forest floor and the trees absorb a massive amount of it, and thus they stop flooding to some degree. So some places that you might want to consider, before we get into that, let me just talk about no-go as far as water security. So these areas that we flagged here, this is Mars, it's probably where they shoot a lot of the videos where they show you for Mars, I'm sure. But it's just barren and it's desolate. There's very little out here. There's very few people that live here. There's not a lot of infrastructure as far as towns. So pretty much disregard this whole region. There's just not much there. Same here. There's just nothing here. There's very little trees and there's just no water. So it's really, really tough. Places that you'd want to consider, some of these regions up in the greener areas, this sort of medium-sized town called Globe, and then there's some other towns around here that you could probably get amenities from when you need to. There's some highways and accesses intersecting to those areas so they can get you there. And then tucking up in this northeastern area of the city, you get some of the state, you get some, some nice topography. It's high elevation here, though. It's, 1,600 meters. That's, 4,800 feet. So that's quite high. At the same time, you're south enough that the elevation isn't as bad as if you were in, say, Washington. 6,000 feet of elevation in the state of Washington is Arctic, but down at this latitude, it's not so much, and it's actually all right. It means that you'll have a nice summer. You'll have a cold winter, but not a ton of snow. You'll get some snow, not a ton. But, so these are some other areas that you might want to consider. The challenge is wherever you are, if you don't have some kind of medium-sized town close to you, it means you're commuting into the Phoenix Mesa region, maybe Maricopa down below, Casa Grande, Tucson, so on and so forth. It's a long commute, so you definitely want to consider that. Everybody's got their reason for staying in one particular region or not. You might be from Arizona and you have to stay there. And so that's why we're making these videos. Because I see in the comments, people are always like, well, don't live there for XYZ region. It's like, okay, well, that's fine for you if you don't live there. But some people need to stay in these regions. And that's why we're considering every single state. We're going to look at even the ones that I would never consider, like Nevada and New Mexico. I would never recommend people move to those states. But we're going to look at them just like we've done here. But I would say overall, if you're not from Arizona and you have no reason to live in Arizona, I wouldn't even consider it. As I would say the same for Nevada, Utah, New Mexico, most of Colorado, most of Wyoming, most of Idaho, most of Oregon. I wouldn't consider living in those states because they're so dry. And that's why people don't live in them. That's why when you look at a population map of the United States, it almost reflects the green regions. There's perfect correlation. The reason most people live east of the Mississippi in the United States is, well, a couple reasons. One, it's where it was first settled. Two, people have been there for a long time, so there's more infrastructure and more inventory as far as real estate is considered. But three, there's just water here. There's water and trees here, and people like to be near water and trees. Go figure, right? So that's why so few people live in this part of the United States, and if they do, they're concentrated into the major metropolitan areas. So when you look at the entire west coast of the U.S. and Canada, it's concentrated here. Population's concentrated on the east, but if it's not, it's all concentrated in the metropolitan areas. So Arizona, Las Vegas, San Diego, LA, San Francisco, Sacramento, coming up, Portland, Oregon, Portland, Vancouver, Washington, Seattle, Vancouver, BC. They're all concentrated in those areas, but for the most part, people don't want to live out in these dry, desolate regions, and there's good reason for that. And I think people's intuition speaks to that. So if you're going to homestead in Arizona, you're better off being in the treed areas, up a little bit higher elevation, but your challenge is going to be, where do you find things? Because commuting into Phoenix 2 or 3 times a week, if you're out here, is a tough drive. The traffic is pretty tough there. I don't know what's with Phoenix drivers, but every time I'm in Phoenix, and I've been going there for probably at least 8 years, every time I'm in Phoenix, I witness total write-off car collisions. It seems to be the worst drivers in the U.S. are in Phoenix, but it's the easiest driving. Go figure. Whereas, you go up to a place like the mountains of British Columbia, there's some places you see a lot of accidents, but I don't know what it is. Every time I'm in Phoenix, I just witness major car accidents. I think people are on their phones all the time because the driving's so simple and they just crash into each other. Anyways, little tidbit of something that I've noticed down there. But yeah, I would say overall, Arizona is not a good state for homesteading. But if you are going to homestead there, consider some of these places here. And, you know, the challenge also on the south of Arizona is the borders are wide open and people are just flooding in. So that makes Tucson a bit dicey as a major city down south here. And it just makes it kind of dicey along the whole Mexican border, where you see a lot more crime, you know, migrants just kind of walking right in. Up on the northern border of the U.S., they give us a hard time for wanting to come down and add value, but you want to come down and do drug trafficking and sex trafficking, hey, come one, come all. The borders are wide open. So I would probably avoid living, you know, anywhere along the Mexican border there in Arizona. But anyways, that's some food for thought with the state of Arizona. If you guys like these videos, check the link that I've got posted in the video here. It's going to take you to a web class where I'm going to give you my top tricks and tips and tricks for finding good properties. And that all will lead to a course that you might be interested in, where I can teach you how to do all this kind of stuff, this analysis that I do in Google Earth. It's a very good way, a fast way to find the perfect homestead property. And you know, if you want to find the ideal homestead property, it really is about volume. It's about looking at the most amount of properties in the least amount of time, having a high sample rate, and looking at 100 or more properties closely to find the right one, because it's tough. And I would say in states like Arizona, Nevada, New Mexico, Utah, Colorado, Wyoming, Idaho, Oregon, it's tough. Yeah, there's less inventory and the prices are high. And definitely in Arizona, you'll notice too, the property taxes are quite insane. I've seen properties in Arizona, $15,000 a year in property taxes. So that's certainly going to be closer to municipalities, but food for thought there in general. All right, folks, we'll see you in the next one.